Our artisans, they need to do 4 years of training to be able to manufacture a Kelly bag. This that you've just seen, the perlage, you need to be very skilled and very, very good.
Some of Hermès products are made in China. Towels are from Fuyue in Shandong. They also make products for Chanel and IKEA. Beddings are from Yue in Shandong. Men's shoes are from Shachi in Shandong. Tableware are from Gaochun in Jiangsu.
It was my first time shopping at Hermès, and let me tell you how it went.
We got a lot of requests, do Hermès next. And that's why we're here in the Highland Park Mall.
Made in Italy, made in China, or maybe made in Chile. Oh yeah, that should be a thing, by the way, because some brands get real creative when it comes to made in language.
Hermès is officially in full-blown panic mode. The luxury giant is now suing the same Chinese manufacturers who just exposed their billion-dollar secret, and the whole fashion world is losing it. These factories weren't just pumping out cheap knockoffs, they were the real deal, making the exact same Birkins and Kellys that Hermès sells for a mind-blowing $20,000. And now, they're spilling everything about what really happens behind those fancy made-in-France labels. It's way messier than anyone thought. From shady production moves to leaked insider receipts and viral TikToks lighting up the internet.
She put the finishing touches on a Kelly, the most difficult bag to build. It starts with 30 distinct cuts of leather and can take 20 hours to complete, 4 hours for just the handle. There are no manuals or cheat sheets. Artisans rely on their training and muscle memory to make every bag.
This scandal is tearing the whole luxury fantasy apart, and Hermès is scrambling like crazy to cover it up. But the truth's already out there, and the damage is done. No turning back now. Let's jump straight into the biggest lie that started it all. For years, Hermès sold the dream, handcrafted bags made lovingly by French artisans in fancy Parisian workshops. Yeah, it turns out that's not the whole story. You probably picture someone in a crisp white coat, hand-stitching leather by candlelight with smooth jazz floating through the air, right? Wrong. Reality check. It's a whole different story. According to insiders and hard receipts from Tanner Leatherstein, up to 80% of these so-called French luxury bags are actually made in China. And we're not talking about just a few parts either. The leather work, the stitching, the threading, the cutting, all of it's getting done overseas. Then Hermès swoops in, adds a fancy button or slaps a stamp on it in France, and just like that, voila, it's suddenly made in France. That's the slick trick they've been pulling for years.
So Hermès has put out a response to China, and they have like a video in a factory sort of showing people trying to show that they're actually the ones who are making the bags in a factory somewhere in France.
So when the Chinese factories started airing out the truth and dropping receipts for everyone to see, Hermès completely freaked out. And that's when Tanner Leatherstein stepped into the spotlight. And things got even messier. Tanner Leatherstein, the whistleblower shaking up luxury. He ain't just some random guy popping off on TikTok. He's a legit leather expert with a serious cult following. This man buys designer bags, slices them open right on camera, and shows the world what's really inside. He was the first one to call out Chanel, exposing how they ditched real gold hardware for cheap plastic-coated leather. Then he went after Louis Vuitton, Bottega Veneta, and of course Hermès.
I have spent over $100,000 of my own money dissecting luxury bags, cutting them open, analyzing every stitch, every layer. Why? Because I had to know what made those bags so expensive.
Tanner showed everyone that the leather quality in these pricey bags is barely better than what you'd find in a $100 knockoff. And get this, he revealed that making a Birkin bag, it actually costs around $600. Not $14,000, not $38,000, just $600. And that even covers legit good leather and real metal hardware. Now picture Hermès watching this all explode online, viral videos everywhere, receipts dropping left and right, and realizing their big luxury secret? It's completely out there. And there's no putting the genie back in the bottle now. See, the Chinese manufacturers weren't just out here making fakes, they were making the real deal for Hermès. And now, they're the ones blowing the whistle. They exposed that 80% of the work is done in China, with just a few final touches slapped on in France. While Hermès keeps cashing in off the pure French luxury fantasy, hiding the real story behind the scenes.
Almost finished bags from China factories, back to their own factories, and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that.
So what does Hermès do? Own up to it? Apologize? Of course not. They jumped straight into filing lawsuits. Hermès is now suing several Chinese factories, crying about misuse of intellectual property and defamation, basically saying, "How dare you tell the world our bags aren't 100% made in France?" But here's the wild part. These Chinese manufacturers were working under legal contracts with luxury brands. They were officially making the bags. And now that the truth's out, Hermès is out here pretending they don't even know them. Like they just woke up one morning and discovered these factories out of nowhere.
Who is the Chinese supplier behind product? Bags are from Sitong Handbag in Dongguan City, Guangdong Province. It's a factory specializing in handbags for 54 years. And it produces 80% of the world luxury bags.
He started making his boots in China, and that is these boots right here. This is pretty much the UGG boot that like most Americans will have in their house. I was very pissed off when I found out the truth because I grew up in Southern California. I remember being in elementary school when I would only see 2 people in the entire school wearing UGG boots, and they were always the cool surfer kids.
Let's break it down real quick. Hermès pulled in a crazy $15.2 billion in revenue in 2024. That means millions of bags got sold. But if it really takes 2 whole days to make just one Birkin by hand, where's this army of French workers secretly cranking them out? The math ain't mathin'. It's giving major fraud vibes. And Hermès isn't the only one playing dirty. Big names like Prada, Chanel, and Louis Vuitton are running the same hustle. They crank out 98% of their products in China, then toss on a little zipper or button in Italy just so they can legally slap on a Made in Italy tag. It's all a marketing scam, a straight-up con. And for years, consumers have been eating it up because of the prestige tied to these brands. But the game's changing fast. As more people catch on to the truth, resale prices are starting to slide. Folks are waking up and realizing they dropped $25,000 on a bag made in the exact same factory that pumps out $400 dupes. Wild, right? Now that Tanner's out here exposing bags claiming to be full calfskin, but actually made with cheap PE-coated leather, collectors are nervous and buyers are straight up mad, because if Hermès isn't really about quality or craftsmanship, then what did everybody actually pay for? Just the brand illusion, that's what.
Nothing is as humbling as your daughter drawing on your $60,000 Birkin. Am I right?
Yeah. I couldn't even be mad at her because when I asked her, I was like, I wanted to see if she was gonna tell me the truth. I was like, Coach, did you draw on mommy's purse?
Literally spent $60,000 on this purse. Look what my daughter did to my purse.
Pretty much where I keep all my purses. This one here is really special. If my house is on fire, I would take this one out of all of them.
The big lie Western luxury brands have been feeding us for years is that made in China equals low quality. But that's straight up outdated thinking. Chinese factories today are producing world-class leather goods. They've got the materials, the skills, and the high-end machines to match. Truth is, a ton of luxury brands are making their products in the exact same factories as mid-range brands and even knockoffs. The only real difference? A fancy tag slapped on at the end. That's it. So next time someone says a bag is made in China, don't jump to conclusions. It might actually be better than whatever got stitched together in France. There are crazy stories everywhere, like people scoring factory extras without logos that are literally the same as $1,000 designer pieces. One creator even said she snagged UGG boots from the exact same factory for just $5. Only difference? No fancy label. It's all about branding. Western media has brainwashed people into thinking China equals bad and Europe equals luxury. But when you really dig into it, it's all just slick marketing tricks.
Unbox my latest Hermès bag with me. This is my first bag I got this year. I usually get one bag a year, and this is the one for this year. And I'm really excited about it.
You know, you walk into Hermès and say, hey, I want to buy one of these. You know what they say to you? No, we don't have them. You first of all, you have to be an Hermès customers. You have to demonstrate that you like the brand. And then you can only buy one per year.
These brands are nothing but private equity-owned machines, pumping out overpriced goods to folks who just don't know any better. And now that more and more consumers are waking up to the truth, the whole luxury industry is straight up panicking. Tanner Leatherstein, he's different. He's not pushing a brand, he's not selling you some fancy story. He's just showing his work, breaking down materials, and telling it like it is. No smoke and mirrors. He even cut open his own $1,800 wallet collection. slicing through luxury pieces on camera, just to show you exactly what you're paying for, and every single time, he found disappointment inside. Nothing but overpriced hype. Let's be real for a sec, just a millisecond. These designer brands wouldn't be sitting on top of the world if it weren't for celebrities flashing their stuff like trophies. You really think they're out here buying Birkins and Chanels just for fun? Nah, most of them are either gifted or paid to rock these bags. It's called strategic placement. The brand drops a $60,000 bag in Cardi B's lap, she flexes it on IG, and boom, every influencer and wannabe fashion queen out there is scrambling to get one too. You're not just buying luxury, you're buying celebrity approval. And don't forget when Kylie Jenner dropped that Hermès closet tour, people straight up lost their minds.
I've been speaking to this client here regarding selling her Birkin 30 Gris Etain, if I'm not wrong. Gris Etain is the color, and it's palladium hardware. The bag is in box fresh condition, but it's SUES stamp, which means it's a 2021 piece.
Kendall Jenner is wearing a fake Louis Vuitton fanny pack and she didn't know it. I'm gonna give you 3 reasons why I know that this Louis Vuitton bag is fake.
But real talk, how many of those bags were even bought with her own money? And even if they were they really made in some fancy French workshop or stitched up in a backroom in Shenzhen? Yeah, it's looking real suspicious out here. And it's not just the celebs playing the game anymore. Influencers are deep in it too. TikTok and Instagram are flooded with unboxing videos showing off massive luxury hauls. And guess what? Most of it's either PR drops or brand deals. These creators are stacking serious cash promoting bags they didn't even pay for, pushing this fantasy that you gotta have a designer bag to be somebody. Meanwhile, the brands are sitting back laughing, selling $600 bags for $26,000 just because it popped up on your FYP and looked shiny. It's a whole setup and folks are falling for it left and right.
None of this jewelry on my arm is real. Don't love me because of no diamonds. Take all this. This bracelet right here look real as a. This shit was $23 on Amazon.
But we gotta get into this whole Birkin trap too. Somewhere along the way, owning a Birkin bag turned into the ultimate status flex. Like if you didn't have one, you weren't part of the club. But here's the real kicker. Hermès doesn't even let just anybody buy a Birkin. You can't just stroll into the store and snatch one off the shelf. Nah, you gotta build a whole purchase history first, meaning you gotta drop thousands on scarves, belts, and random accessories just to maybe be offered the privilege of buying one. That's not luxury, that's straight up luxury cult behavior, and people are lining up to be part of it. And don't even get me started on the resale game. A few years back, people were flipping Birkins like they were beachfront property, making crazy profits. But now, after Tanner's expose and the factory leaks, prices are slipping fast, and they're not slowing down. If the exclusivity is fake, the craftsmanship is questionable, and the bags are being made right alongside dupes, why would anybody still cough up full price? Buyers are nervous, resellers are sweating bullets, and investors? They're finally realizing that these luxury bags might not be the golden ticket they thought they were. I was talking to a client the other day about selling her Birkin 30 in Gris Etain. That's the color, with palladium hardware. The bag's in box fresh condition, but here's the catch. It's an M stamp, meaning it's from 2021. And here's where it gets even wilder. A lot of celebs and influencers out here are actually rocking dupes, but still tagging the real brands. Why? Simple. They want to stay on trend without dropping a crazy bag of cash. Some insiders even say that stylists will grab fakes, tag the luxury brands for clout, and still get invited to Fashion Week. All because they keep up the illusion. Yep, the whole system out here rewards the look, not the authenticity. It's all smoke and mirrors. So next time you see your favorite celeb flexing a luxury bag, don't just assume it's the real deal. And definitely don't think they even care. It's the branding that sells the dream, not the actual bag. So who's really winning in all this? The brands are still cashing out. The celebs, still stacking checks. The influencers, still getting PR boxes and VIP event invites like it's nothing. You know who's not winning? You, the customer. You're the one dropping a whole month's rent on a bag with a fancy label stitched in, all based on hype pushed by celebs who didn't even pay for it themselves. So real talk, ask yourself, are you buying true quality or just chasing an illusion? But here's where it gets even crazier. Hermès isn't just panicking behind closed doors anymore, they're going full legal warfare mode now. Yep, the brand is allegedly out here suing a wave of Chinese manufacturers who had the nerve to expose the truth. And it's not just 1 or 2 lawsuits. Reports say Hermès is targeting multiple factories, slapping them with claims like defamation and misuse of intellectual property to try and shut them down. Let's keep it real. Hermès isn't mad about the factories talking, they're mad about getting caught. And honestly, this scandal couldn't have hit at a worse time for them. Ever since the US started cracking down with those aggressive tariffs on Chinese imports, global brands have been forced to show their real cards. And guess what? Hermès is looking like they're about to get hit hard, because when most of your so-called French craftsmanship is coming straight out of factories in Shenzhen, yeah, that's a huge problem. This whole expose didn't just air out one brand. It blew the lid off the entire luxury game. Luxury today ain't about quality anymore. It's about perception, smoke, and illusion. And when that illusion starts to crack, the whole empire starts to fall apart. Hermès isn't just trying to save face right now, they're fighting for survival. If more people catch on to where these bags are really made, folks are gonna start questioning everything, not just Hermès, but Louis Vuitton, Prada, Chanel, all of them. The terrifying moment? When made in France loses its sparkle, that's when luxury really loses its power. Right now, Hermès is scrambling, filing lawsuits, pointing fingers, doing anything they can to shut down the truth. But honestly, it might already be too late because the genie's out of the bag, baby, and the internet never forgets. Now that you know the real story, are you still gonna drop $20,000 on a bag made in the same building that ships out Amazon packages? Or even DHgate dupes? Think about it. Smash that like button if you're side-eyeing your favorite luxury brand right now. And don't forget to subscribe for more wild fashion drama. We're just getting started. Drop a comment and tell us, do you think celebs should be held accountable for pushing overpriced products on everyone? And honestly, are these luxury brands even worth the crazy price tags anymore? Be real, would you still buy a Hermès bag if the tag flat out said made in China? Trust me, this rabbit hole goes deep, and the next video we've got lined up is just as messy, maybe even messier.